miss you all.
Well, that is Justice Ramana saying farewell today. That was his final speech in the Supreme Court. Ashmit joins us now with what transpired today. Ashmit, how will members of the bar and the bench remember Justice Ramana's tenure?
Well, Justice Ramana, his tenure has been quite an interesting one. Now, Justice Ramana was India's 48th Chief Justice, took charge in April of 2021 and will retire today. But will his tenure that stretched across 16 months, one would struggle to find noteworthy judgments that clarified on matters of constitutional law. However, what does come to mind are speeches that he gave on various public platforms. In one such speech, he reflected on the trust deficit in the judiciary by saying, and I quote, "In my humble view, in the absence of judicial review, people's faith in our constitution would have diminished," unquote. In another such speech that he gave at Nalsa, he reflected on the need for police reform, noting that threat to human rights is at its highest in police stations. While his speeches may have been thought-provoking, they did little to effect any significant change. What many expected was for him to hear and decide very long pending matters affecting politics, civil rights and constitutional law. Now, Justice Ramana made little progress here. Key cases such as the challenges to abrogation of Article 370, plea questioning electoral bonds, petitions against the constitutionality of Citizen Amendment Act have not been heard for over a year now. Moreover, despite dozens of cases and public criticism, CJI Ramana made no move to hear the pleas challenging the UAPA. In fact, the plea against the hijab ban, which was filed in March, has not been heard even once. So what has been the impact of his tenure? Well, he was responsible for constituting an expert panel on the Pegasus case while directing that the centre cannot use the bogey of national security to silence judicial inquiry. But it seems to have had little effect, with the technical committee also reporting that the centre has refused to clarify on the use of Pegasus, again citing national security. CJI Ramana can also claim credit for staying the infamous sedition provisions. He also moved swiftly to cancel the bail of Union Minister Ajay Mishra's son Ashish Mishra in the Lakhimpur Kheri case. The last few days were quite busy for him. He issued notice on plea against the remission of sentence of 11 rapists in the Bilkis Bano case. He also red flagged Supreme Court's own PMLA judgment, pointing out some aspects that need to be reviewed. He also launched a debate on electoral freebies, but has left it open for the apex court to decide later. Meanwhile, the Shiv Sena and Delhi Centre disputes have been referred to larger benches. On the administrative side, to his credit, is the filling of as many as 224 vacancies in various high courts. He's also responsible for the elevation of Justice B.V. Nagaratna, who's likely to become India's first female Chief Justice, and that's likely to happen in 2027.
Well, Ashmit Kumar, many thanks for joining us in comprehensively wrapping up the tenure of the Chief